नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण प्रभुनित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री नवद्वीप धाम की श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की नु गोवर्धन की गंगामयी की यमुनामयी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की समवेद भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा गिरिधारी की गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to the Assembly of Devotees. All glories to the Assembly of Devotees. All glories to the Assembly of Devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। मातरं मातरं पितरं पितरं भ्रात्रा भ्रात्रा भ्रातॄन् भ्रातॄन् सर्वं सर्वं च सुहृदः सुहृदः तथा गृह्णन्ति गृह्णन्ति असुतृप्तो असुतृप्तो लुब्धा लुब्धा राजाना राजाना प्रायशो प्रायशो भुवि भुवि मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा गृह्णन्ति यस्सुतृप्तो लुब्धा राजाना प्रयशो भुवि राजाना प्रयशो भुवि मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा गृह्णन्ति यस्सुतृप्तो लुब्धा राजना प्रयशो भुवि राजना प्रयशो भुवि मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन् सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा नन्ति यस्सुतृप्तो लुब्धा राजना प्रयशो भुवि राजना प्रयशो भुवि
मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन्
मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन्
सर्वंश्च सुहृदस्तथा नाति सुतृपो लुब्धा
नाति यस्सुतृप्तो लुब्धा
राजना प्रयसो भुवि
राजना प्रयशो भुवि
मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन्
मातरं पितरं भ्रातॄन्
सर्वांश्च सुहृदस्तथा
सर्वांश्च सुहृदस्तथा
गृह्णन्ति यस्सुतृपो लुब्धा
गृह्णन्ति यस्सुतृपो लुब्धा
राजान प्रायशो भुवि
राजान प्रायशो भुवि मातरं
Pitaram Bhatram
Mataram Pitaram Bhatrim
Sarvam
Sarvam Shasridattatha Nishantiya Shatrupalubdha Radhana Prayasho Bhuvi. Mataram Pitaram Bhatrim Sarvam Shasridattatha Nandahaya Shatrupalubdha Radhana Prayasho Bhuvi. Mataram Pitaram Bhatrim Sarvam Shasridattatha Vinantiya Shatrupalubdha Radhana Prayasho Bhuvi. Mataram Pitaram Bhatrim Sarvam Shasridattatha Vinantiya Shatrupalubdha Radhana Prayasho Bhuvi. Mataram
Unto the mother,
unto the mother,
Pitaram,
Pitaram,
unto the father,
unto the father,
Bratran,
unto
unto brothers,
brothers,
Sarvancha,
Sarvancha,
and anyone else,
and anyone else,
Sudrita,
Sudrida,
friends,
friends,
Tata,
Tata,
as well
as
as
Gnanti,
Nanti, they kill, as it is practically seen.
as it is practically seen.
He, indeed,
Asudripa,
those who envy the lives of others,
those who envy the lives of others,
for their personal sense gratification.
for their personal gratification.
Labdha, greedy, Rajana, such kings, Prayashaha, almost always, Bhuvi, on the earth. Kings, greedy for sense gratification on this earth, almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We have seen in the history of India that Aurangzeb killed his brother and nephews and imprisoned his father to fulfill his political ambitions. There have been many similar instances, and Kamsa was the same type of king. Kamsa did not hesitate to kill his nephews and imprison his sister and his father. For demons to do such things is not astonishing. Nonetheless, although Kamsa was a demon, he was aware that Lord Vishnu cannot be killed, and thus he attained salvation. Even partial understanding of the activities of Lord Vishnu makes one eligible for salvation. Kamsa knew a little about Krishna, and he could not be killed, and therefore he attained salvation, although he thought of Vishnu, Krishna, as an enemy. What then is to be said of one who knows Krishna perfectly from the descriptions of the Shastras like Bhagavad Gita? It is therefore the duty of everyone to read Bhagavad Gita and understand Krishna perfectly. This will make one's life successful. Om Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumidikam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manohishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamanam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juthavadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Danda Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vanshakam Patarudhyascha Kriva Sindhubheva Padhivanam Bhavanyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kings, greedy for sense gratification on this earth, almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, entitled The Advent of Lord Krishna, Introduction, Text 67. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is revealing the conditioned nature of such kings as Kamsa, who are overly attached to the bodily conception of life and the desire to enjoy on that life. In this revealing purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a parallel to our own self. In a lecture, Srila Prabhupada was explaining the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So many great acharyas have written their commentaries on Vedanta Sutra. The Samhita Bhasya by Sripad Shankaracharya is very, very prominent amongst pundits and scholars, not only in India and all over the world, where he has given his explanation of what really is Vedanta Sutra speaking to us. Now our Vaishnava acharyas of the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, for some time, they did not write commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Rather, Thakur, they were writing commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually at one point, that place is called Gauta, near Jaipur, it became very controversial. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Shankaracharya, they all have commentaries that they don't. Why go to the Vaishnavas and not do it? A simple reason. Because Vedavyas wrote his own commentary of Vedantas. And nobody knows the real meaning of a book better than the author. We may have our speculation of what's trying to be said, but the author knows exactly, precisely what he's trying to tell the world. Ultimately, with the blessings of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Baladeva Vyabhushan, praying at the lotus feet of Radha Govinda in Jaipur, and compiled beautiful commentary of Vedantas, Govinda Bhasya. But really, he did it just for the people in general. Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Goswami, they all gave commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is most important. It is the crest jewel of all Vedic literatures. It is Vyasadev's own commentary of the sutras. So in this regard, Srila Prabhupada gives an example. There was a book named Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan became a very popular book. One of the friends of the author approached the author and said, "You have given this book the wrong name. Because the whole book is about the atrocities of Aurangzeb. There's not much said about Shah Jahan. The book should be named Aurangzeb." The author explained, "No, you don't understand. Shah Jahan was the father of Aurangzeb. He had many children. He had several wives, but one wife was very, very much dear to him because she gave him many sons. That wife died when she was very young. Now, Shah Jahan was a very great conqueror, king of the Mughal dynasty, great in the sense that he had tremendous power and influence. He wanted to glorify his wife and also glorify his own artistic, cultural expertise. So for many years he had a tomb for his wife built called Taj Mahal. He had about 20,000 laborers working day and night to build that. He recruited the finest architects and craftsmen in the whole land. As he was king, they all came to Agra and built Taj Mahal. Srila Prabhupada explains in the Krishna book that on the full moon night of the month of the full moon night of the autumn season, the Taj Mahal is very beautiful. So even Prabhupada is praising the beauty of Taj Mahal. But to speak of how many people go to India just to see the Taj Mahal. In 1989, my mother and father came to India. They came to Bombay, attended kirtans and lectures. Their hearts were transformed. They were chanting, they were dancing, they were crying, they were happiness. I was in culture shock seeing them. I was in more culture shock than them, seeing them chanting, dancing, and happy in Krishna consciousness. And then we went to Jaipur, and I took them to Radha Govinda temple, and they were offering donations and pujas. I also took them to Vrindavan, and they did kirtan for the entire day, non-stop kirtan. That was I tricked them actually. Because actually, from Jaipur they said we must see the Taj Mahal. That's really ultimately what everybody says, we must see the Taj Mahal. We've been hearing about it since I birthed Taj Mahal. We went to Agra and saw the Taj Mahal. And the next day, in the morning, we were going to Delhi. The flight was out of Delhi 2 days later. So in the morning, as we're driving, they said, today's your birthday. It's the first time in 25 years we've been with you on your birthday. We're so proud of what you're doing. We'll give you anything. We have the power to give. Anything you want, we'll give you. I said, do you mean that? Ask him to make an offer like that to a devotee. Hare Krishna movement. Said, are you sure? Said, if we have it, we'll give it. Said, you have what I'm going to ask for, you have. So you promise? Yes. Said, in a few minutes we're going to be coming to a place called Vrindavan. And the moment we come, we're going to spend a whole day there. To the moment you leave, you chant and clap your hands with me. So I said, all right. We learned all this in Bombay, so it's not difficult. As soon as the car got into the precincts of Braj Bhumi, I was Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We did it. We were just chanting and clapping our hands. And then first place we went was Radhanath. Some distance away in car park near Middyban. And I told my father and mother, actually we should take off your shoes. Because if you take your shoes off at the front of the temple, your shoes are pretty exotic things. Brajvasis. Someone may take them as prasaders. So better you leave them. Yes, we have learned how to take our shoes off in your temple in Bombay. So they took their shoes off. I'll never forget this. My father, it was his first step into Vrindavan from the taxi. Actually, it was a car that was rented. He took his first step into the holy land of Vrindavan in his silk stockings. Ankle deep of fresh, warm cow dung. He was not expecting that. For all his 70 years, he was never put in such a dilemma. I mean, because it was so warm, so fresh, it really was a culture shock. What could you do? He was just walking, and his whole foot and sock were just covered in soap and powder. It was such an embarrassing situation. He said, what am I supposed to do? And of course, you know what I told him. I said, cow dung is pure. This is Krishna's mercy. You're getting purified. The first step of Vrindavan, you're getting purified. And he didn't say a word. He was actually in distress. And then we found a nice well, pump well. And I said, put your foot under this. And he did. Pretty well. But we kept the kirtan going, sitting in front of the deity for half hour, Gopal Bhatta Goswami's deity, Hare Krishna, and chanting. It was surrealistic. It just wasn't supposed to be like that. They were not supposed to be in Vrindavan chanting Hare Krishna. where is the nearest toilet? And in those days, I didn't know Vrindavan so well as far as the toilets. I knew where the holy places were, but I didn't know where the toilets were because I always just went in the bushes somewhere. So I told her, well, you have to go into the bushes. And she said, oh God, she said, I'll just hold it till the Delhi airport. So we were there all day long, chanting, non-stop. And then we came the crescendo, the culmination, Krishna Balaram. Oh, how they liked it, especially the toilet. I really created a temple that Westerners could feel at home in. They loved the cleanliness, they loved the beauty of the deities, they loved the cleanliness of the devotees, they loved the restroom facilities. They were very happy. So yes, and actually my mother said, and my mother and father both said, we should buy gifts for our hosts who let us stay in their house in Bombay. I said, what would you like to get them? I was shocked at the reply. My mother said, let's buy them deities. So they wanted me to pick out the deities because they didn't really know how to do that. So they bought deities for the different families. Anyway. So in the end, I asked them, when I was seeing them off at the airport, I said, how did you like your trip to India? They said, Bombay was wonderful. Jaipur was wonderful. Bombay, your temple and your devotees was wonderful. Jaipur was wonderful. Seeing all those deities and those famous places. And Vrindavan was a very, very spiritual experience for us. Said that Agra, Taj Mahal was really boring. It was really boring. Next time we will not come to Taj Mahal. So this Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal, one of the great wonders of the world to this day, for his wife. And what fame, popularity, and prestige he gained, not only during his time, but historically devoted. So of his many sons, one of his younger sons, Aurangzeb, decided he wanted to conquer the entire kingdom. He wanted to take it away from his father. Not only that, he knew his eldest brother was the natural person to be the next king. But his father gave different territories to his different sons. And Aurangzeb built up huge armies and went and conquered his brother's territories. Not only that, but he murdered him. He killed his brother so that he couldn't come back and try to take it away. He killed his nephews. And then he put his father in prison in such a way, for the rest of his life, his father wasn't even allowed to see the Taj Mahal. That's painful. When you put so much energy and so much of your life into creating something, and you're not even allowed to see it. So can you imagine the heart of a father? Seeing your children fighting, totally envious of one another, greedy for what the other has, to the extent of massacring and killing, and even tortured. Aurangzeb even tortured his brother before he killed him. Can you imagine the pain of a father? So actually, the book tells all about Aurangzeb's nefarious activities, but the purpose of the book is to show people what kind of suffering Shah Jahan was enduring. And really, the book was about the torturous heart of Shah Jahan. we want to understand a book, we must understand it from the author. That is why there's purports to the greatest literatures. Srimad Bhagavatam is the purport, the commentary of Vedanta. So, through this narration, we have described a little about the cruelty of Aurangzeb. And Srila Prabhupada explains that this is not uncommon. Throughout history, we find such cruelty amongst leaders, powerful leaders. Not long ago, I was in Germany. And my dear godbrother Sachinandana Swami Maharaj, he was telling me about the atrocities of Hitler. He knows. His father was an officer under Hitler. And in order for him to get into power and stay in power, he first built the concentration camps for the intelligentsia, for the intelligent, learned people of the country, because they could not accept him. They were free-thinking people, and they saw what he was doing. They couldn't stand behind him. So he had to do away with them. Either you accept me in total as the supreme ruler and surrender to whatever I say,